Let's rank the different kinds of retail pharmacies. 1 being, my life sucks, I hate going into work, oh my God, what did I do with myself? And 10 being, well, this is a great place to work, I can't wait to do this. Retail pharmacies that we all see on the corners. You know the ones I'm talking about. When you think of a pharmacist, that's usually the picture that you have in your head. And these places are notoriously known for being so stressful. And that's mostly because the majority of their revenue comes from the pharmacy. They don't have other things to kind of fall back on. Like the pharmacy makes all of their money. That's why there's so many of them. And that's why they're so stressful in the back. And sometimes they cut corners. Sometimes there's lines going around the building. Sometimes there's just so much going on. And being the actual pharmacist on the inside that has to actually deal with all the phone calls, has to deal with the 5 different technicians that you have, but there's only one pharmacist on duty at a time. Maybe you get the overlap. Maybe your schedule is nice and maybe you have to work overnights. Maybe they care that you're going into labor and you don't want to work close to when you're due. Maybe they don't and they make you work up until the last day. So if I had to rank this kind of retail pharmacy, it would definitely be at a 0 or a 1. And I have worked at both of them. Next, you have the grocery store pharmacy. So those are the ones that you see inside of your big grocery stores. They aren't as stressful because they have the grocery store sales to fall back on. So yes, pharmacy is important, it makes money and all this stuff, but we can actually breathe a little bit back there. Sometimes it's not as busy because there's most of the time no drive-through. You get to talk to the patients and people are actually looking at you and coming to you for recommendations, and they know that you'll have time to talk to them because you're not running around like a chicken with your head cut off. So what would I say about these kind of retail pharmacies? I would definitely give it more of an 8 on the retail scale, 8. Lastly, you have your independent pharmacies, and these are like the mom and pop pharmacies or independently owned. If they're owned by pharmacists, it could be great. You could have a flexible schedule. You know, if you're a mom, you could work around that kind of stuff and have a bit of a weird schedule. So that's a good thing. But if it's not owned by a pharmacist, then sometimes you can kind of feel pressure to do things you don't want to. And at the end of the day, everything's going to fall on your license. But the flexibility is still there. So what would I rate this? Maybe a 6, 7. Choose wisely.